value can be securely transmitted and stored. With both secure nodes and supernodes, Zencash recently surpassed 17,000 nodes, which means Zencash has one of the largest node systems of any cryptocurrency. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com. UPI reports a Michigan judge on Monday ordered the state's health director to stand trial on involuntary manslaughter charges over 2 deaths linked to a water crisis in Flint. Nick Lyon, the highest-ranking state official to face charges related to the city's tainted water supply, which was not properly treated when officials decided to draw from the Flint River in April 2014, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Flint, killing Robert Skidmore and John Snyder. Lyon was charged in June 2017 for the 2 deaths as well as a felony count of misconduct in office. The charging document said Lyon showed gross negligence when he did not alert the public about the Legionnaire's outbreak until a year after he became aware of it. The document says he took steps to suppress information illustrating obvious and apparent harms that were likely to result in serious injury. Defendant Lyon willfully disregarded the deadly nature of the Legionnaire's disease outbreak. Prosecutors say Lyon instructed an official to stop an analysis that would have helped determine the crisis's cause. On Monday, when ordering the trial, 67th District Court Judge David Goggins said, "I find this behavior corrupt." Lyon could face 15 years in prison if convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The misconduct charge carries a possible 5-year sentence. Governor Rick Snyder named Lyon to the position on April 10, 2015, when he created a new agency that merged the Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Department of Community Health. Lyon had led the latter department. He is one of 15 current and former city and state officials facing charges for criminal wrongdoing in the Flint water scandal. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said that it is within his agency's power to eliminate rebates on prescription drug purchases, a key element of the Trump administration's plan to lower prescription medicine costs. Such rebates are negotiated in the United States by pharmacy benefit managers to lower cost of medicines for their clients, which include large employers and health plans that cover tens of millions of Americans. Drug makers say they are under pressure to provide rebates to the few pharmacy benefit managers that dominate the market, which include CVS, Express Scripts, and United Health's Optum, and that those payers do not pass on enough of the savings to patients, a contention the pharmacy benefit managers dispute. The drug makers say the rebates force them to raise the price on their therapies over time to preserve their business. The Trump administration has been receptive to that argument. Azar, in an interview with Reuters on Friday, said rebates create a perverse incentive to continuously raise drug prices. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
The chimpanzee spends most of its day in the jungle, carelessly swinging from tree to tree and picking mites off itself, instead of building shelter and teaching itself how to read. This chimp is named Bolo, and researchers at Duke University have shown that he can solve 3-dimensional logic puzzles, an impressive feat indeed, until you learn that human children as young as 3 are also able to solve the puzzle. Even a mentally handicapped human is capable of verbal speech, something no chimpanzee has ever been able to accomplish, despite working vocal cords capable of howling in irritation after soiling itself. Chimps have been observed using tools, but their tools are little more than sticks. Even driving and preparing pancakes, tasks we leave to the stupidest, least educated humans, lay beyond the capabilities of the chimp.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Vertcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say!
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. I'm joined in the studio today by Mr. Chris Wade from ThinkPenguin.com, along with, my normal co-host, Miss Aria DiMezzo. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day out today. It's a nice change of pace from last week or so, where it's been nothing but rain.
I'm so tired. I can't even enjoy it.
Nah. You're supposed to be all full of energy now because
I wish,
because the rain has stopped.
Yeah.
It's usually when it's raining that everybody gets. I'm so tired.
Well, it is also it's a holiday for me.
Is it?
I was contemplating not coming in today, but I remember last Tuesday I was out sick. So you two were stuck here without me last week. So I was like,
yeah, we had a good show too.
I'll come in. You two are fun when you're by yourselves, I hear. So
who said that?
When the Pork Fest shows where y'all were by yourselves, evidently were awesome. They were the best shows we did all week.
Really? Well, the Pork Fest shows were fun.
Yeah.
There's no doubt of that.
But it's Eid. It's Eid al-Adha, which is basically it marks the pilgrimage to Mecca that's made every year by Muslims. And I've actually got a live feed that you can hear right now because technology's awesome and the internet's amazing. But this is live. Muslims on Hajj. It's called Tawaf. It's where they basically walk in a circle to the left around the Kaaba as a part of the Hajj, a part of their it represents the the
and how much
of
is
the
Saudi
earth
Arabia charging for this experience now?
It has become one of those things.
It's a shame.
It is, because oddly enough, when Muhammad originally came, that was one of the things that he came and he was like, "Look, you guys have done," because a pilgrimage in that area has always existed, and it's always been based on the Arabs trace their lineage, they believe, and it's been oddly enough Jewish scholars who have validated this. That the Arabs trace their lineage back to Ishmael, the other son of Abraham. And that the Arab Peninsula, when that whole story in the book of Genesis where Sarah, the wife of Abraham, kicks the other wife, Hagar, the Egyptian, out of the home with her child, the pilgrimage of going back and forth, the part of the Hajj where you go back and forth between Arafah and the Kaaba, is supposed to represent her basically as like a mother who doesn't know what she's going to do because she's in the middle of the desert with a child. And,
fascinating.
Yeah. So like all of the different stations of the pilgrimage mostly are based on old traditions that are connected to Abraham that continued with the pagans after the Yemeni pagans took over the region. The Kaaba stayed, and so did the pilgrimage to the religious pilgrimage, and it became this area that was like because the Arabs were known for being warring tribes. You know, there were blood feuds. Like, imagine the Hatfields and the McCoys, right?
The who?
So, Chris, you know who the Hatfields and the McCoys are, right?
Is this a religious thing?
No, the Hatfields and the McCoys. It's an American history thing.
No, I don't recall.
The famous feud, the Hatfields and the McCoys. Jesus Christ, they made a 6-part mini-series, like made-for-TV movie out of it with Kevin Costner and Bill Pullman. I mean, come on, like the big-name actors and everything. Neither one of you know what I'm talking about.
No, just blank looks on our faces.
Blood feuds. It's like, I think you cheated me out of my hog, so my cousin killed your cousin, and now I gotta kill you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, and that stuff
the
lasts.
Capulets and the Montagues.
Yeah, okay.
I would have understood that.
Generational blood feuds for like hundreds of years. And the area in Mecca itself, around the Kaaba, was like the no fighting zone. It was like this area that it was declared peace, even with the pagans. Like
it was the neutral zone.
It was the neutral zone, and that's where all the trade went on. So, and it became like this major hub of the Silk Road. And like, if it was coming in on boats, it was coming in to the ports next to Mecca and going east. And if it was coming from land, it was coming into Mecca and going up, either through Syria, coming from Africa. You had incense coming from Ethiopia. You know, these different things. First they would come to port in Mecca, and then the traders and the caravans were all based there and in Damascus, and then it would go everywhere from there, all the way to England from there. You know, goods from England to China. You know, all roads led to Mecca at the time. So that's what this whole like thing is from, is this area where they decided, okay, this has always been a religious area, so we're going to make it like you can't fight. All your blood feuds, I'm offended, leave it at the door. You can't even bring weapons in. And then everybody would come in and do their trading.
What about the weapons trade?
Right. And then they would go out and they would do their thing. And then if they wanted to fight, they'd fight outside. But all the blood feuds and everything, all that kind of culture it still exists, but it was supposed to have been done away with. And all of the different stations of the pilgrimage, because there's one where you like throw rocks at a big rock and curse the devil. It's a lot of ritual. The 7 circles around the Kaaba, you know, 7 as a number of completion, the 7 days of creation, and and no, Muslims don't believe it was literally 7 24-hour periods. We're not evangelical Christians. Even the Jews look at that and go, "You people are stupid." It's our book. We know what it says.
So what's it say?
Well, the word that's used in Genesis is a finite period of time with a beginning and an end, but undefined.
Okay.
So,
saying 7 increments.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 7 epochs or 7 increments, but the word in English is translated by the scholars back in 1611 as a day, because that was
closest word. Yeah.
They could understand. Common man would understand. And they're like, oh, there's 7 days in a week, so 7 days. Oh, there we go. So yeah, and that's where the whole like the 6,000-year-old Earth and all this like Sarah Palin,
interesting.
Where all that stuff comes from.
Now I understand.
None of that existed in old Christianity. In Christianity back in old England, they didn't believe the Earth was 6,000 years old. No one was trying to formulate how old the Earth was. And I think that might be what it is that the whole 6,000-year-old Earth theory is a response to actually dating the age of the Earth. And they're like, no, it's got to be this other thing because we said, which still makes no sense.
Well, for them, if they weren't there, then...
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Email is easy, instant, and free, and that can be real embarrassing. Email lacks the eye contact and body language you get in face-to-face conversation, or the tone of voice and other nuance you hear in a telephone conversation. Email is just words, often few words. We're all smothering in spam, so we often reply in terse fashion that's easy to misunderstand. And email doesn't cost you a postage stamp, and it lacks the deliberation time it'd take to walk to the snail mail box, so it's easy to succumb to the "oh yeah" stimulus response trap. When in doubt, don't snap back at snippy messages you get. You may have mistaken the sender's intent. And unless you're sending AOL to AOL, there's no unsend. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. So there's a story that I've been, I hear that Chris has brought in for us from California. Now, California, everybody talks about how, California is the most liberal and just everything. How did Davi Barker describe them in an article I read once? The most pinko commie state in the union.
They're nuts.
They always
understatement of the year.
Well, to me, they're disingenuous when they say that they want to do all of these good things. Yeah, exactly. Like the mindset for the summer of snitches comes from there. And by the way, it's not over yet. There was another incident Sunday in New Haven right after I left, where a girl who works for the Connecticut's Parks and Recreations Department called the police on people feeding the homeless because they didn't have it.
Well, you would expect that the homeless, the black people, the LGBT community, all of these minorities that are supposedly being helped by Democrats would very easily see that the entire scheme is meant to permanently
blame it on the Republicans.
Yeah, but the entire scheme is designed to permanently place them as the underclass so we don't get in the way of the white people and their freaking pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah. I'm always amazed by the stupidity of certain minority groups of which I am part. And I am just like, how do you not see that the laws that they're even passing to protect you, so to speak, are not just being used to undermine you, hate crime laws, things like that. And I'm just baffled. I mean, it's not everybody, but it seems like a majority.
Disarming the people was a big one for me when I lived in Mississippi because, I lived in rural Mississippi. It's openly trans. And I kept trying to explain to Democrats, look, when these people pull up into my yard with baseball bats with the intention of, chaining me up behind the truck and dragging me down the street, the police aren't going to have a 45. The police aren't going to get there in time to do anything but file a report about the tranny that got murdered.
Well, that's mostly all the police do in the first place. I don't see the need for police.
I don't think they've ever actually arrived and prevented a murder.
Police put people in jail for victimless crimes.
Mostly.
Well, that's what they proactively do.
Yeah, right.
They proactively seek out victimless crimes.
They're not even capable
in jail from, and they never prevent the.
That's why I'm running for sheriff.
They very rarely prevent the victim crimes.
I'm not sure if they ever do.
They're there to clean up the mess.
They can't.
They're disgusting. They don't even clean
even
up.
If you call them when, hey, this guy's at my front door. The act is over before they ever show up. They're just there to record the statistic.
That's why we need an armed population because the victim is already there.
It's disgusting.
If they're armed, they can deal with it. The police have to arrive, and there's always a delay in the police getting there.
For real, yo. If there's 4 guys in my front yard with ball bats, I don't even have to actually shoot anybody. I could just put a hole in the door.
You don't even have to do that. Just the sound of cocking a shotgun will get them
all you gotta hear. Yeah,
they're not even capable of investigating crime. Like if you try to report any kind of fraud or credit card fraud or anything, basically any kind of or even theft or something like that, they don't know how to investigate. They don't have the tools. They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the capabilities to investigate. It's like, we need more police on the street. Do we? Are we sure about that? They can't even investigate the crimes. So how the heck are they going to stop a crime?
No, we need Visa and MasterCard to investigate credit card theft.
Investigate.
Now, you know what we need is we need to shut down the whole credit card network because the companies behind it are basically incapable of, basically implementing a modern, secure solution to the problem.
Well, it's because everything is based around that magical number that the government grants us to make us good and obedient taxpayers. It's all based around that. I mean, if somebody has that, they can ruin your life.
Yep.
And that's why most victims of identity theft have it done to them by their parents.
True.
Is that a statistic? That's
yeah. My dad did it to me. I thought it was my mother at the time, and when I found the police report about it, they're like, "All right, we'll look into it." I never heard anything else.
No, they won't.
No. They didn't even bother to go, oh, by the way, your mother's officially dead, so we don't think that was her.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was real? So she was officially dead, but she was really alive, or
no? She was dead.
Oh, she was dead.
Yeah.
But did you just say you thought it was your mother?
She didn't.
I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's how useless police are.
Yeah.
And how bad at their jobs they are, you know? Didn't mean to derail that subject. Sorry.
I think what it is we are perceiving what their job is wrong. See, for us as public servants, their job is to serve the public. But what they really are is policy servants. They're there to serve the policy makers, to protect the policy makers from us.
And they're good at that.
And to create revenue to keep themselves in business.
Yeah,
and to murder the undesirables.
It certainly makes a lot more sense because they do certainly enable certain people with power
what do they call
to
it?
go after
affluenza?
Others.
Isn't that what they call it? Affluenza?
Yeah, and they like to go after people for minor policy or violations of regulations as opposed to
I heard the whole affluenza
actual crimes.
Yeah, exactly. I heard the affluenza thing just happened again. Like some big rich doctor.
All right, wait a minute. Back up. What is this?
Affluenza is where you're too rich to be held accountable for your actions.
Like AIG and the other banks that were too big to fail.
I don't know, but there's some people that they go to court and the judge just looks at them and goes, "You're too rich and white. They would eat you alive in prison, so I'm just going to let you go."
Does that really happen?
It has really happened more than once. Excuse me.
I've heard of,
and the term that they use for it now is affluenza.
I've heard of shorter stamina being like not sent to prison because of it, but I've never heard of wealth being a reason. But I mean,
generally speaking, if you're that wealthy, you can hire the attorneys to get out of it, and that's more or less how the justice system is designed, or how it functions.
It's certainly true. If you have a lawyer, you have a much better opportunity to get out of whatever crime it is that they've got, because there's almost always mistakes and lots of them when they try and prosecute people. It's a question of being able to figure out where those mistakes are.
But when the state really wants to come down on you, it doesn't matter where those mistakes are, because they'll do to you what they did to Ross Ulbricht.
Oh, sure. The judge will just wave the mistakes away basically, and magically, they'll convict anyway.
2 life sentences.
Yeah. Well, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure if Ross actually had the lawyers and everything. I'm pretty sure he didn't actually to mount a proper defense.
I thought he was loaded at the time.
My understanding was
they seized everything.
They seized what they usually.
Free Talk Live.
They gently kind of hang on to it or manipulate it with their mouths. The pufferfish then releases toxins that seem to intoxicate the dolphins.
He's getting high. Apparently, there's legislation in India to consider dolphins to be non-human persons. Would dolphins be subject to arrest for getting intoxicated?
How else could they deal with this threat to the dolphins?
Obviously, there's disorderly conduct and public intoxication.
I bet they'll resist arrest too.
Because dolphins don't really have hands. They're going to fight you, and a dolphin will rape you.
Think of the money for the prison industrial complex here. I mean, they'll have to build whole new underwater prisons for the dolphins. This could be big.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this? Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.fm. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.fm.
صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم مولاي صل وسلم دائما أبدا على حبيبك خير الخلق كلهم محمد سيد الكونين.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.fm. Eid Mubarak again to everybody out there that's listening. I know we have some Muslim listeners that are at least one of them in the room right now. So Eid Mubarak to you. I hope you enjoy your time with your family this evening.
Is that the Discord room? Because
yes.
Unless you're talking about yourself, I'm...
No.
Okay.
It's the Discord room. Yeah, I know there's at least one because I'm looking at him right now.
Gotcha.
So, but yeah, it is. It's Eid, and we've been we've been talking today. What were we talking about?
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out before we came back as well.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Population stupidity of some minorities.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a good subject.
We got off.
We should carry on with that.
We got off on a tangent, and it was working.
Yeah, we did.
Somehow we got into affluenza.
Yeah, we were talking about that too.
Yeah, like rich people can't be held accountable for their actions.
Yeah.
That's how we got there. The minorities go to jail, the poor people go to jail. Because if you're white and you're poor, you're no better than the minorities. And poor is like...
Except you're probably less likely to get arrested.
I'm going to say no. No.
So why do you think that's not the case?
I used to drive around, a city smoking weed and delivering pizzas, and cops knew about it, and they never hassled me.
My own
But we had plenty of people being
observations-
arrested for pot.
My own observations in courtrooms, that courtrooms are filled with minorities and poor white people. And most of the people that are in a courtroom, 90% of them are all in the same tax bracket. or very close to the same tax bracket, the bottom 2 rungs of the social ladder. And that's it. And that's what that's for. Those people don't pay taxes. Well, they do, but they get that money back. So the government's got to get their money out of them some way, and that's what the courts are for. Is to get you don't get to keep your income taxes. I hate to tell you, that's parking, that speeding ticket that they gave you, those fines that you got to pay for your DUI or your minor possessions charge or whatever, that time you got pulled over for no taillights when you had perfectly working taillights, but they found that joint in the car, all that stuff, that was your income tax check that you got back, just so you know, stupid.
Yeah.
They getting their money out of you one way or the other.
I
and
hate
that's
how
what
they
it's
call
become.
it refunds. They're like, oh, we're getting a tax refund. I was like, it's not a refund. It's just a check.
For real, yo, you stole my money and you're giving it back to me. That's not a refund. A refund is when I got
you buy a
service.
product.
Yeah, I got a product or a service. I wasn't satisfied with it, and you gave me my money. No, you know what? I guess it is a refund because it is a service that I'm not satisfied with, and they're giving me my money back.
Yeah, but not at your
not all of my money.
No, your terms. You're giving it back on their terms. And,
yeah.
Yeah, it's not all of it. So.
See? I knew it. So, goodness. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the story because it kind of relates to, the poor.
Yeah. Yeah, California officials admit to using license plate readers to monitor welfare recipients. Now, this story is from Gizmodo. Since 2016, Sacramento County officials have been accessing license plate reader data to track welfare recipients suspected of fraud. The Sacramento Bee reported over the weekend. Sacramento County Department of Human Assistance Director Ann Edwards confirmed to the paper that welfare fraud investigators working under the DHA have used the data for 2 years on a case-by-case basis. Edwards said the DHA pays about $5,000 annually for access to the database. Abbreviated LPR license plate readers are essentially cameras that upload photographs to a searchable database of images of license plates. Each image captured by these cameras is annotated with information on the registered owner, the make, the model of the car, and time-stamped GPS data on where it was last spotted. Those with access, usually police, can search the database using a full or partial license plate number, a date or time, year, and model of a car, and so on. Yeah, I mean, this is what's so disturbing. I mean, people wonder why I object to driver's licenses and license plates and things like this, and it's this is exactly the reason. It's even if it was okay at one time because it was nobody could do this kind of thing. It's the fact that now they're constantly tracking us every single where we go, and you don't even have a choice because while you can put your cell phone down, you can't take the license plate off your car, and if you do, well, guess what? Now you're a unique target because nobody else has a license plate removed from their car.
Well, it's a good warning for what truly awaits people who become dependent on the state. Because as the article says, it's welfare recipients who are being
and we
monitored
will track
in
all
this
of
way.
your movements.
Yeah. So the government's like, here, if you want this check, we're going to spy on everything you do.
And I'm just going to walk out on a limb here and say that this is what they're setting up so that they can spy on everybody once universal basic income goes into effect in California. And they'll just be like, well, you get the state's money. So that's what I was always told. If we send you money, then we get to tell you what to do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth to that.
That's the way my parents were. If we pay the bills, then we make the decisions, not you. My in-laws, they helped us at one point in time because I was out of work. And my mother-in-law came to stay with us for a month, and that was her attitude was, we pay the rent here. So we make the rules here, not you. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you have children. You guys are in a position where you need us. And because you need us, we make the rules. Well, guess what? What do you think a nanny government is going to do? It's going to act like an overbearing mother.
Yeah, it's quite disturbing. I don't understand how people can be like safety. And the disgusting thing is, now this isn't...
what the hell does tracking welfare recipients have to do with safety?
No, it doesn't. But you know what's disgusting is the whole reason we have driver's licenses. And I'm not so sure to what extent that applies to license plates specifically, but it was the result of basically back in the days of horse and carriages, discrimination against motor vehicle operators. People didn't like them. They scared horses and such. So the state basically came in and they passed these laws to require driver's licenses for motor vehicle operators, not the more dangerous, carriages and horses and such, but motor vehicles. And so it's actually this bigoted thing that was then later used under the argument of safety. But up until the late 1960s, we didn't even have any kind of testing in a number of states for obtaining a driver's license. So the whole argument basically fails flat on its face of why we supposedly need driver's licenses.
It's a way of controlling your ability to support yourself.
If
the government has the ability to stop you.
And
from
if
being
you
able
look
to support
at
yourself.
how driver's licenses are being used today, they're actually being utilized for things that have nothing to do with driving, nothing to do with safety. Everything from buying alcohol to suspending licenses for things that have nothing to do with driving, like you missed a child support payment, license suspended, you want to leave the country, well, they're doing passports too, actually.
Yep.
But the point is, these types of devices are being used against people who have never committed a crime and may not even have known that they owed child support in many cases.
Did you get a ticket in Knoxville for smoking marijuana in public and didn't pay it? We're taking your driver's license. That's their a lot of states now, what they're doing is, because it used to be pretty normal, like if you got a misdemeanor charge, you just left. You didn't have to stay. Why do you have to stay?
Reciprocity.
So now,
Very dangerous.
If they can't prosecute you or get the fine out of you for simple charges in one state, they're like, oh, well, we'll just suspend your driver's license here, and then you have to come back. We got a cell waiting on you. We'll be back in just a moment.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is Eid al-Adha. So we've switched up the bumper music for the first hour of the show in celebration of, well, it's my holiday and a few of our listeners' holiday as well. We've been talking about, well, what happens when you make the state your mother. When you go to the state like a parent and say, can't do this. I need you to do this for me. Take care of me. What does the state do? We'll give you some money, but we want to keep tabs on you and where you're going, what you're doing, because we're giving you our money. And I love how the state sees it.
It's your money that they stole from you in the first place.
I love how the state sees it that way too.
They steal it from them.
Yeah, they stole it from someone else, which means it's their money that they stole from someone else.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to kind of depend on what the particular
well, if you're a welfare if you're a welfare recipient, then
sure, welfare, that might be the case, but certainly not other types of welfare, right?
Well, also hold on though, because welfare, you have to remember, like, if you work at McDonald's, like every person you see behind the counter that's over the age of 18 at McDonald's that's a female is on welfare. Every fast food restaurant you go to,
I believe that.
Every fast food restaurant you go to, if there's a person that's there working 40-hour weeks and they are over the age of 18, they are on.
Do they even hire people welfare for 40 hours? I would think they would do like less than that.
They do.
They're
but
exempt.
It's rare.
They're exempt. Not even because they're exempt from the ACA. McDonald's, Walmart. There's like 5 companies that are exempt.
Really?
From
well, they
Obamacare.
still generally hire part-time employees.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think everybody's exempt now because didn't they?
No, they talked about it, but they didn't.
Oh, they didn't actually go through with it
because the Republicans suck as much as Democrats do.
Yeah.
I would just like to point out that all of this repeal Obamacare crap. It's the Republicans' version of abolish ICE.
Basically, they found out rural Kentucky didn't have any health care, so now they're like, well,
they talked a lot about it and they pretended that they wanted to, and then they had the authority to, and they go, we just can't figure it out.
Yeah,
we got to pick up this whole law and burn it. I mean,
we want the Democrats to write us a new law before we get rid of this one. It's like, what?
There goes the point.
Right.
It's sad, and it's sad what the Democrats are doing in California, and it's sad what the Democrats are doing with Abolish ICE, which is exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
The whole, let's pretend, let's virtue signal to the American public that we want this thing so that they'll vote for us.
Another one is Walmart. Walmart, we subsidize Walmart billions of dollars a year. Billions of dollars in subsidies to Walmart's employees from the government. Food stamps,
not to mention
health care.
Yeah, the only way Walmart can buy the food is because we're also subsidizing the farmers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so we're subsidizing Walmart on both ends.
This is, people have this perception that welfare is for the poor. It's not. It's for the wealthy as well. As is exactly what you're talking about. They're basically.
Do you know if you lose your food stamp card and you need to talk to the bank that holds the funds? That's right. There's a bank that holds food stamp funds.
Oh, of course.
And you call the 800 number on the back.
Isn't it like 50 cents per call or something?
Do you know what? No, it's free. But do you know where you call?
Bank of America.
Nope. Close. J.P. Morgan Chase.
Okay.
J.P. Morgan Chase oversees the American Food Stamp Program and the cards that go with it.
So I got a question. Is welfare a state thing, or is that a federal thing, or is it a combination of the two?
Combination.
Okay. Is it mostly state, mostly federal?
The state
does the federal government provide the money for the state?
The federal government gives the money to the states, and the states make the decisions on how it's dispersed, how much, what the guidelines are to receive.
Okay.
Some states.
So theoretically, a state could just cut it totally and not accept those funds.
Yeah, but they're not going to.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. They could have riots in the street.
I'm not suggesting that it's going to happen. I'm simply saying
riots.
There'll
be riots in the streets. You think?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, there'll be riots in the streets because
you took away my government cheese.
No, it's 30% of every state. It's the only way they fill their refrigerator.
Yeah.
So it's not government cheese. It's the milk that the babies are drinking.
People are going to be hungry if we get the government out and let the market solve
Not just hungry. Like the average person who is on food stamps is on food stamps because after they pay for all of their other bills because of the inflated prices due to regulations and property taxes and everything else, once they get through paying all those bills, their budget for their home for food is like $55 for the month. And you can't one person,
it's like $2 a day.
Yeah, and one person,
a little less,
and one person can barely live off of that. I mean, you could live on ramen noodles but that's
gonna be pretty tough. I would think you might have might result in medical issues
exactly
at that level
if you're
of nutrition.
No, our age too.
Yeah,
you got to have fat intake. You have to have you have to have some kind of intake some way.
True.
Even these. Are keeping you from getting scurvy.
I mean, maybe you could get away with it if it's like ramen noodles plus an energy drink a day or something like that. Maybe, but the energy drinks are probably $3 a can.
Exactly.
So, yeah, $2 is for modern.
Okay. Now add 2 kids. Okay, make it a husband and a wife that are both working and get everything paid, and there's $55 each left. So you get $110 left to feed 2 adults and 2 kids for a month.
And the state can do that when it controls the currency, but if they were being paid in like Bitcoin and they were paying their bills
because
in Bitcoin,
the currency is worthless.
It couldn't happen.
If the currency that they had in their pocket was worth what it was in the 1960s, they'd have money coming out of their ears.
You know what I've always thought was
$55 was what people made as a weekly wage when my mom was in her 20s.
You know what I kind of feel like welfare does is it basically makes people stay where they are as opposed to migrate. I mean, if you look at the 1930s, there was a lot of migration going on.
People, it doesn't lift them up.
And the labor would go where the jobs are. I mean, there were fewer jobs, but the labor would move. And what we have today is people who are unwilling to move, and because they get welfare, they get their money, and even if it's not economically viable, it might be that they're making $100,000 a year, and they still need maybe not quite, but for a family maybe they still need to be on welfare in certain places. It's absolutely insane.
Well, I would counter that for the most part. The average person has no desire to move anyway. I mean, most people never go more than 100, 150 miles from their home city.
The reality is that
back in the day they did.
They still didn't want
people
to.
would move.
The welfare
countries.
just gave them the ability to not not move.
Large populations would move from countries, from one country to another, change languages and everything in order to solve this problem. And it actually...
I know they did, but they didn't want
You
to.
can't now because of passports, closed borders.
I mean,
so welfare isn't the only problem. It's the fact we're all caged in cattle.
Yeah.
Well, I would 60 years ago, they created a system.
Came over the land bridge between Alaska and Russia thousands of years ago. They didn't want to do that. They did it because they had to survive. And that's what I'm saying about people moving to today and the welfare and allowing them to just stay where they're at. They don't want to.
If we could have, if it weren't for the fact that the government will not give me a passport, we would have been in Kenya in 2010. I would be living in Nairobi right now. I never would have met none of y'all. Seriously.
Yeah.
I would be doing security work in Kenya right now. I'd be guarding diplomats in Kenya. That's what I would be doing right now. And making good money.
Yeah, probably.
But, and I even explained this to them. I was like, look, I understand you guys, you want this money from me. The government, you owe us child support. Okay, I get it. It's not because of refusing to pay. I had a child that was 5 years old, dropped in my lap. I won the lottery, and they were like, "Oh, and you also get this 5 years worth of child support debt to go along with it. Congratulations," which is like $15,000. And I was like, "Look, I could pay you guys off in 6 months. In 6 months, you could be completely paid, and me still be doing good. I got to have the passport. The job's waiting for me. I just need the passport." And they were like, "And once you pay us the $15,000, you can have it."
Yeah,
and I was like, if you don't let me get if I don't get the passport, as you have seen so far with how slow it's $20 a month you guys are getting out of me, you will never see this money. And they're like, "We're okay with that." But you're not getting your passport till we do. Well, if you give me the passport, I can get you your money.
Are you able to get a passport from another country?
No. I don't think
He'd
so.
have to get to the other
I have to
country
get
anyway.
there first.
You have to get there. Interesting.
All right, we'll be right back with the Crypto Hour.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.73 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,190 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,439. Antiwar.com reports that speaking on the 65th anniversary of the 1953 CIA coup against Iran, the Iranian foreign minister accused the newly established Iran Action Group of being an attempt by the U.S. government to repeat the coup, but that it will fail. The State Department announced the establishment of the Iran Action Group last week, with Brian Hook appointed to lead it as a special representative for Iran. Exactly what the group will be doing is not entirely clear. The State Department did try to present Hook's responsibility as coordinating all anti-Iran activities within the department, however, which suggests that it's reasonable for Iran to conclude the goal is regime change, despite some Trump administration officials denying that they are seeking regime change. Iran's foreign minister says U.S. attempts at regime change will come through pressure, misinformation, and demagoguery. The U.S. has been fairly open about spreading misinformation about Iran and trying to organize protest against the government, and in recent weeks has presented those protests as proof the Iranian government needs to make radical changes. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With both secure nodes and supernodes, Zencash recently surpassed 17,000 nodes, which means Zencash has one of the largest node systems of any cryptocurrency. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com. UPI reports a Michigan judge on Monday ordered the state's health director to stand trial on involuntary manslaughter charges over 2 deaths linked to a water crisis in Flint. Nick Lyon, the highest-ranking state official to face charges related to the city's tainted water supply, which was not properly treated when officials decided to draw from the Flint River in April 2014, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Flint, killing Robert Skidmore and John Snyder. Lyon was charged in June 2017 for the 2 deaths, as well as a felony count of misconduct in office. The charging document said Lyon showed gross negligence when he did not alert the public about the Legionnaire's outbreak until a year after he became aware of it. The document says he took steps to suppress information illustrating obvious and apparent harms that were likely to result in serious injury. Defendant Lyon willfully disregarded the deadly nature of the Legionnaire's disease outbreak. Prosecutors say Lyon instructed an official to stop an analysis that would have helped determine the crisis's cause. On Monday, when ordering the trial, 67th District Court Judge David Goggins said, "I find this behavior corrupt." Lyon could face 15 years in prison if convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The misconduct charge carries a possible 5-year sentence. Governor Rick Snyder named Lyon to the position on April 10, 2015, when he created a new agency that merged the Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Department of Community Health. Lyon had led the latter department. He is one of 15 current and former city and state officials facing charges for criminal wrongdoing in the Flint water scandal. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said that it is within his agency's power to eliminate rebates on prescription drug purchases, a key element of the Trump administration's plan to lower prescription medicine costs. Such rebates are negotiated in the United States by pharmacy benefit managers to lower cost of medicines for their clients, which include large employers and health plans that cover tens of millions of Americans. Drug makers say they are under pressure to provide rebates to the few pharmacy benefit managers that dominate the market, which include CVS, Express Scripts, and United Health's Optum, and that those payers do not pass on enough of the savings to patients, a contention the pharmacy benefit managers dispute. The drug makers say the rebates force them to raise the price on their therapies over time to preserve their business. The Trump administration has been receptive to that argument. Azar, in an interview with Reuters on Friday, said rebates create a perverse incentive to continuously raise drug prices. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
California is reeling from Super Rainbow Percival, which left a trail of devastation along the West Coast. A luminous band of destruction touched down in Santa Barbara. Percival set a record as the most powerful rainbow in U.S. history, with at least 30 confirmed fatalities and damage estimates in the billions. The vividly saturated colors seared through homes and roads, charring everything in its path. Those exposed to the rainbow's fury say they're lucky to be alive.
The sky was completely blue. All of a sudden, it's filled with brilliant hues of red and indigo.
All I can say is when I was a kid, rainbows didn't cut people in half.
Meteorologists say that Percival is just the latest in a pattern of increasingly dangerous rainbows, and that they're only growing stronger as global temperatures rise. Percival also comes on the heels of some extreme weather phenomena overseas. Authorities in the Philippines are still searching for thousands in the aftermath of mega sunset Wilma.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hodl.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by motionproject.org here on the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's time for our Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom. I wish that music would go down faster. The volume would go down faster, because I know it's overpowering me. I listen to the show sometimes afterward, and you can't hear me until it gets to there where it goes down. Like that's why I like being able to like do all this stuff myself. It's because I turn it down to a level like I leave it playing for a while, but I at a level where you can hear me and you can hear Aria and you can hear Chris, who is still on the porch. So it is time for the Crypto Hour, and brought to you by the folks over at Motion Project, motionproject.org. And you know what? While I've got it on my mind, I say we ought to just go ahead and do one of these. Why not? It's a great way to start a Crypto Hour with some free money. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. That's right, 603-283-6160. And get 10 free coins from Motion Project over at motionproject.org. So let's see here. First story. I'm not trying to throw shade at Roger. I like Roger. I'm not trying to throw shade at Bitcoin Cash. But according to Kyle Baird from thebitcoinist.com, hardly anyone is using Bitcoin Cash, and 67 wallets control 56% of total supply.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
How many wallets? 65?
67.
67.
Bitcoin Cash celebrated its first birthday at the beginning of August. However, recent reports of low commercial use coupled with an 85% drop in market cap from its all-time high are putting a bit of a damper on the party.
Yeah,
it's been just over a year now since Bitcoin Cash, currently valued around $500 a coin, forked from the Bitcoin Core blockchain. Advocates of Bitcoin Cash, including early Bitcoin adopter Roger Ver, have continued to tout BCH as being, quote, the true Bitcoin. In May, Ver claimed in a telephone interview with CNBC that's what actually gives Bitcoin Cash its underlying value, that you can use it in commerce to pay for things. whereas a lot of these other tokens out there just kind of turn into speculative assets that don't actually have any utility. These claims, however, don't seem to hold up in the current market. Senior economist Kim Grauer from Chainalysis discussed Bitcoin Cash's first year in a telephone interview with Bloomberg. Grauer began by examining VAIR's claim that BCH is being frequently used in commerce to pay for things. She reviewed payments received by 17 of the most traded exchanges and found that, well, Bitcoin Cash's payments slumped to 3.7 million in May.
Hold on. If they're selling them to an exchange, they're not using them to make purchases. They're not using them economically. They're flipping them.
So, it's also interesting to note that most of the transactions that are going on, I believe, in most of these cryptocurrencies, and probably including Bitcoin, are not actual purchases but trades.
Yeah.
So it's kind of probably misleading. Any kind of news article, about pretty much anything is kind of be a bit misleading.
Yeah, outside of like Keene and Portsmouth and a few other places throughout the U.S. that have it on a smaller capacity, you're not buying things with crypto.
Yeah, it's right, and I would agree with you. I've tried to purchase stuff. I mean, there's a handful of places that you can, or circumstances where you can use cryptocurrencies, and that's primarily online and in New Hampshire. So if you're not in one of those two places, and if you look at what's actually being used, listen, my business accepts cryptocurrencies, and I primarily see Bitcoin Cash coming in, and I see Dash being used. Not so much online, but in New Hampshire. Those seem to be the ones that people are actually using.
Well, about 56% of Bitcoin Cash is controlled by only 67 wallets, not located on exchanges. Of those, 2 wallets hold between 10...
Good God, I'm glad to hear that at least.
2 wallets...
nuts.
2 wallets hold between 10,000 and 100,000 Bitcoin Cash. And the chances are the wealthiest holders are the ones sending out a lot of the traffic to merchant services. Transaction Highway depicts blockchain transactions on the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash chains as if they were vehicles driving down a highway. The number of lanes represents the difference in block size between the two chains, and different sized vehicles represent transaction size. One doesn't need to watch for long to see that the Bitcoin Cash Highway is a ghost town, especially when compared to its maximum block size limit. BCH market dominance has also steadily slipped, following the steep run-up and correction at the end of 2017 to the present. Bitcoin's dominance, meanwhile, has shown its resilience, recovering from its all-time low of 32% to 53% at the time of the writing of this article. Bitcoin Cash has also taken a larger hit in terms of market cap than Bitcoin, which is currently trading about around $6,400 a coin. Bitcoin Cash took off and topped at $3,700 after getting listed on Coinbase at the end of 2017 and has since dropped to $534, a loss of more than 86% compared to a 68% loss in Bitcoin's market cap.
The other one that would be interesting to compare to is Monero, because that's used on the darknet.
Yeah.
Cryptocurrencies are certainly speculative, mostly speculative as far as investors right now, and that's mostly unfortunately because there's a lot of places accepting them, but they're focused in very few places. New Hampshire, especially, Venezuela, and that's about it. Number 1 and number 2 cities in the world for cryptocurrency acceptance are right here. One in Keene, and where we are, and the others in Portsmouth in New Hampshire, and then the third is like Venezuela. So
interesting.
Really? Venezuela?
Oh, well, yeah.
Of course.
The economy collapsed.
Yeah,
their dollar or their currency's not worth anything.
I'm just going to kind of wander out on a limb and say that's coming for Turkey soon, because Turkey's currency recently, from what I hear, their currency recently collapsed.
What's happening with Greece?
That's over as
Greece
far as I know.
Ever recovered at all? Or
I don't think so. I think austerity continues.
Nobody cares.
Well, I mean, I cared initially because I saw that the Greece National Bank's stock plummeted in value from like $56 down to about $2 per share. So I bought a lot of it because it's one of those things that as long as Greece exists, they're going to have a national bank. I wasn't an anarchist then, or even a libertarian.
Greece's economy is still struggling after its third bailout ends, published June 21st of this year. So there you go.
Yeah, but then it continued to go down anyway, down to about 20 cents per share, and I finally got rid of it. Sort of like what happened with
that probably was a
Verge.
mistake.
Well, I mean, I needed the money more than I needed, the wealth in 25 years.
Well, did you put a lot into it? Hopefully you didn't put a lot into it.
No, not really.
Okay.
I was a slot tech, so I wasn't making like millions of dollars or anything.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, when we get back here in just a moment, we're going to continue on with a story about everybody's favorite scammer. You'll know when we get back.
Are you sick of government lackeys who say you didn't build that? Are you tired of elitists who think you need a government permission slip for everything? Everything you do is an A to B conversation, and the government should see their way out of it. Create true free markets by adopting the BIPCOT No Government License. The BIPCOT No Gov license allows use or modification of any product, service, or software except by governments or government agents. Go to BIPCOT.org. That's Bravo, India, Papa, Charlie, Oscar, Tango.org. This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com. Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
Sharing this amazing, glorious, super, and exciting moment of my life with all of you guys. And let me tell you that we are really changing the world as we know it. The world is not anymore the way it used to be. No, no, no. Be
All right, welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. It is the middle of our crypto hour, and we got free crypto on the table right now. Just give us a call at 603-283-6160 and pick up some free coins. So I promised you guys that we would be talking about the biggest scam, and guess what the biggest scam is?
Since Mt. Gox.
BitConnect. Oh. Yeah. BitConnect is in the news today because somebody got busted. That's right. BitConnect exchange kingpin who lured investors arrested in India. Murkier details of the BitConnect cryptocurrency scam have emerged as police arrested the head of the defunct cryptocurrency exchange. The last Saturday, August the 18th, Indian authorities arrested Divyesh Darji, the Asian head of the defunct cryptocurrency exchange, in a high-profile scam worth 880 billion rupees, valued at $12.6 billion. Local news publication Times of India reported that Divyesh Darji was arrested by the Gujarat CID upon his arrival at Delhi airport from Dubai. The accused has been moved to Gujarat capital Gandhinagar for further investigation. Darji was one of the promoters of BitConnect, along with Deval Mavani, Satish Kumbani, and Suresh Gorasia, who have all been accused of siphoning investor money from the cryptocurrency exchange. The BitConnect scam, reported earlier this year, involves a notorious case of extortion in addition to deceit and fraud. The launch of BitConnect, simultaneously with the Indian demonetization of November 2016, also raised a lot of questions. In November 2016, the Indian government demonetized 500 and 1,000 Indian rupee currency notes in an attempt to choke the circulation of black market money in the market. During this period, BitConnect shot to fame among Indian investors as most of the money was siphoned off into digital assets. The company was investigative officer and DGP of CID Crime Ashish Bhatia said the company was registered in the UK and had an office in Surat. They claimed that their own BitConnect coins soon after demonetization. They promoted the company on social media and by holding gala functions in cities across the world. They lured investors with 60% monthly interest and incentives in the form of referral interest. This case came to the limelight when a Surat-based businessman, Shailesh Bhatt, filed a case of deceit, fraud, and extortion against 11 people, including BitConnect promoters. A further police investigation into this matter unearthed multiple cases of crypto scams carried out through the exchange. Bot had previously invested 1.8 crore in digital assets through BitConnect, which shut down its operations this year in January. The police investigation revealed that Bot had allegedly kidnapped BitConnect promoters Payush Savilia and Davi Mavani and extorted 2,019 bitcoins, 11,000 Litecoins, and rupees 14.5. I'm guessing it's like 14.5 million rupees. Wow. I don't know. If somebody wants to look out what CRORE RS 1450 CRORE cash. I'm guessing that's rupees. One CID crime official revealed that they recovered 169 bitcoins with over 8 kilograms of gold from Bot. Wow. Just when it seemed the case couldn't get murkier, it was found Bot was later kidnapped by Surat LCB Inspector Anant Patel and 8 other policemen, along with the involvement of an ex-MLA of Gujarat's ruling party, the BJP. There we go. As the CID crime officials and investigative agencies try to solve the complexities of the case, these interconnections of multiple small scams could possibly lead to a single larger scam. BitConnect's promoters, owners, and administrators have been registered under the IPC section for cheating, fraud, and deceit. What about Carlos? What happened to him?
Well, I think he was just a promoter. It doesn't sound like he was one of the big fish in the company.
Right.
But it's interesting the level of corruption that we hear about being kidnapped. Being kidnapped by police is typical.
That's news to me.
It's interesting that they actually called it being kidnapped by police because they were acting outside of the judicial framework, I guess.
Huh. Interesting. Yeah. I recall people saying BitConnect was a fraud or a scam or something like that way back when they were around, I guess. So I'm not sure that's not news to probably any of us.
Yeah. Not to us.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah, it's interesting to see him back in the news.
Oh my God, there's a Keegan Key impersonation of Carlos Matos.
I don't know what that means.
It's some show that's on Comedy Central. It's Dave Chappelle.
Oh, the guy who used to do Key and Peele.
Yeah.
Except they were nowhere near as funny.
Yeah, well, yeah, it was Dave Chappelle, but with 2 black guys and not as funny. He did.
No one could have followed the Chappelle show.
Yeah, Key does a Carlos Matos impression. I got to see that now. I think he's back though. He's promoting weight loss drugs now.
Who is?
Carlos Matos. I knew he was doing something, yo.
Weight loss drugs? Really? That's the biggest scam ever.
Oh, he has he is in trouble, I guess. Oh, and what BitConnect did to us. So he sees himself as a victim of BitConnect as well. Oh my God, there's even a soundboard thing that you can download of him saying, hey, hey, hey. Oh my God. I don't know if I would want to be famous for being, him.
No.
Right? There's people that are like, get an attorney. Get an attorney now. Quit promoting water fasting. Get a lawyer now. All right, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, we're going to be discussing, a company I personally hate, Starbucks, but they are doing something kind of cool, I guess. So we'll talk about it when we get back.
Markets went into a frenzy today after the price of money suddenly skyrocketed to $90 a dollar. Onion reporter spoke to economics professor Mark Cosgrave about the soaring cost of U.S. currency and the impact of increasingly unpredictable dollar-to-dollar rates.
Right now, money prices are steeply rising with no signs of slowing down. This morning alone, the price of dollars nearly tripled, with 1 cent worth approximately $6. That's exponentially higher than even a week ago when money was trading at roughly $53 on the dollar. To put it bluntly, we're now in the midst of a national economic crisis.
According to Cosgrave, the abrupt spike in dollar prices initially caused many Americans to hold on to their money, hoping that the $90 cost of dollars would soon dip back down. But as prices continued to climb, investors panicked and began purchasing as much money as possible.
But with the cost of quarters hitting $4.97 and the $5 bill jumping to a 12-year high of $372, the days when you could get $30 or $40 for just a couple of bucks are unfortunately long gone.
This is the Onion News Network.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Boost Kid Essentials Nutritionally Complete Drink, providing your picky eater with essential nutrition and great taste in one drink. Visit us at kidessentials.com. To make sure your kids eat healthy, follow the 5-a-day plan. Serve 3 servings of vegetables and 2 servings of fruit daily. Remember, a serving could just mean a piece of fruit or a half cup of veggies. If your kids are picky eaters, ask a nutritionist about other sources. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM, broadcasting live from our Zen Cash studio here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We are joined in the studio by Chris Wade from Think Penguin, along with Aria DiMezzo from all over the place. Now you're writing for the newspapers, got another book coming out, doing You just wrote an article about Bitcoin mining.
Oh, it's not about Bitcoin mining.
Well, crypto mining.
In fact, the article points out that, even if you have a top-of-the-line $3,000 or $4,000 gaming PC, you can forget mining Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's going to be a gamble to start mining. You're going to have to pick an obscure coin. You're going to have to mine the crap out of it. You just kind of have to hope that it hits it big.
Would it be easier just to buy it?
That's not the point. The point... I mean, no, actually, it's really not.
No.
But mining is like a 3-click thing. Even if they don't have a 1-click miner, it's super simple. The issue is when you have specialized equipment that you need to install Linux onto a flash drive, onto a SD card, and you can't get anyone out there to come assist you with that. that's the issue. But generally speaking, on Windows, it's the part that throws people off is that these INI files have to be configured and they want a user ID, but what it's actually just asking for is a wallet address. But that's not made clear anywhere, so it's a curveball for people. But I'm looking forward to the article being available because, of course, this is a big crypto community, and the newspaper is read in Vermont and New Hampshire both.
Very
Outside
cool.
of Keene.
What's the newspaper again?
The Eagle Times.
Eagle Times.
Yep. I write the Master Controller article.
Cool.
Yep. So now, I know this isn't a very popular opinion among the gaming community, and the Twitchers out there might set their monitors on fire after I say this, but I'm not really a GTA fan.
I know Grand Theft Auto sucks.
I've never been a GTA fan.
Critics love Grand Theft Auto because it seems to be so edgy, but it's the safest, most controlled, edgy thing in existence.
Well, not only that, but trying to play it, and again, like I'm going back to like the beginning Grand Theft Autos when I first started trying to play them.
like the original.
Well, I would say 3 and San Andreas were good.
I didn't like them either. Just the control. Oh, Jesus, where am I at? I just,
they were certainly not great. And if you couldn't murder prostitutes and go on crime sprees, nobody would be playing that crap today.
Yeah.
Is this like the 2D version or the 3D version? That sounds like more of a 3D version.
Yeah, it's 3D.
Well, the first
the original was like 2D.
Yeah,
2D,
the first two. Yeah, but nobody played those.
No, I played
more 2D.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I remember the 2D version.
Yeah, they were terrible too.
Okay. I don't remember it being terrible, but I definitely wasn't really.
Well, I mean, they were
appealing to
all
me.
right for their time, but they didn't stand out as anything exceptional. It wasn't until 3 that Grand Theft Auto really took off.
Yeah, nobody cared until 3.
Now you can kill hookers.
Yeah, San Andreas which was the one where you could actually sleep with a prostitute.
Oh, well, that was with the hot coffee mod. That was San Andreas, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, you could sleep with them in 3, but you had to go somewhere private and then just showed your car.
Yeah.
And you restore your recovered health. But I mean, now Grand Theft Auto 5, you have a yoga minigame and all kinds of crap like that. Assassin's Creed is another example of games that just suck, but people buy the crap out of it.
I hate Assassin's Creed. Another one that I don't like.
Awful.
I just don't like the gameplay.
No, it's terrible. The first one was not terrible, but there were only like 3 types of quests in the whole game. Then the second one added a 4th type, and then they just keep rehashing it over and over and over. But, oh, look, we're exploring this hidden aspect of Islamic culture. I was like, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're just making crap up and saying, we did research.
No, you didn't.
All right, so clearly it's not a game amongst this crowd of gamers.
No. I was afraid too, because I'm just not a fan of GTA. You know who I do like? Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls is good.
Elder Scrolls is good. Do you game at all, Chris?
I haven't gamed since like the mid 90s.
Oh my god,
you suck.
Yeah,
for real, yo, he's a
You're
techie,
a tech person and nerd. No offense.
He owns a computer company. It doesn't play video games.
This is true.
That's why.
My brain cannot process that conflicting information.
I mean, if you guys want to like talk like gaming, like Wolfenstein, like the original, and Jetpack, and I'm trying to think some of the other games I used to play.
I have those games.
Do you?
I do. I have all of those games. As a matter of fact, I am
playing Tom on GoldenEye 007 tomorrow night at 8:00 or 8:30.
Those post my game playing period actually.
You didn't play the N64 era?
Dude, no, I stopped at like NES and like Game Boy.
Oh, the
like
SNES to the N64 era. That was the golden age of gaming, man. You have missed out.
I played a little bit SNES, but yeah, N64. No, I'm trying to think when they came after that one.
I mean, that was
my brother had some of
the
those
Doom
systems,
era, wasn't it?
Just never.
So you missed out on Doom.
High school.
I never, Doom, I would say, was around like while I was gaming, but I still preferred Wolfenstein.
Okay.
So I didn't really play Doom much.
Well, I didn't have a PC then.
Quake
my first FPS was
really
GoldenEye.
Quake was really, by the time Quake came out, I was not really playing games anymore.
What about Daikatana?
Nope.
No, you were lucky on that one. That's a fun story, though.
Elder Scrolls is like the only first-person game that I can play and not be like
I played
nauseous.
in third person. I know that's considered heresy. That's going to cause people to set their monitors on fire, but I only play Elder Scrolls in third person.
What? How?
I just can't do the first person thing in it. I don't know why. Except for the VR version, I did play first person in that one. And that could have contributed to the nausea.
Yeah,
but
it was right around the time that network gaming really took off. Like, I don't mean internet gaming. I'm talking about network gaming, where you could play against other people within your network.
Like Halo Island parties and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, no, that would have been later, just before the internet.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking really probably by like 96, I was, it was 96, 97 probably at the latest, was like, I was not gaming anymore.
So, what were you doing?
So you missed out on Ocarina of Time, Mario 64.
I was messing around
Final
with Red Hat Linux and servers and other fun stuff.
You were being productive. Well, that's not fun.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how productive I was being, but certainly, I certainly wasn't.
I love watching
gaming.
the guys on the BitBean talk about like all their old Commodores, and they're like bringing out these pictures from the 70s and the 80s.
Ultima 1, the first Age of Darkness, man. I love that game. It's like 1983, just vector-based graphics, man. I love it.
I would be ashamed to reminisce to those time periods.
I've got
days.
I've got Laserdisc games at home, yo.
Oh yeah,
Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
Give me some.
Oh my god, Dragon's Lair.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You know the regular Xbox that's that's upstairs at my house they call it jailbroken, and what they did was they changed a chip and used the huge hard drive that comes in them stock and filled it with this thing called CoinOps Massive 7, and it's got 4,872 games, which includes Jetpack.
Okay.
And freaking Baldur's Gate 2, Dark Alliance 2, I mean.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 1 and 2. And the new versions of Jetpack that came out on the Xbox. So it's got both of those.
Oh, did that finally get released? The new version of Jetpack?
That
it was
came
like in
out
development
long
for
ago.
years.
Yeah, it's been out a long time.
Yeah, last I looked, which might have been a few years.
You know what my kids play now?
It wasn't out yet.
Rayman. Remember Rayman? Rayman. It just looked like
I
arms.
didn't play any PlayStation platformers. Not one.
It was like
Crash
arms
Bandicoot, Rayman.
with a
never
face
touched it.
and hair.
Yeah, PlayStation. By the time PlayStation came out, I was not really gaming anymore. So
It's got all the old, like the Sega Master System.
I do remember modding that PlayStation though.
That's what this is it's just a major mod.
Yeah. So you can play.
The PS2 was super
games.
easy to mod.
PlayStation 2 was?
Yeah. I mean, you didn't even need a chip. You just needed like a.
You were never able to get those PlayStation 2 games put on our modded Xbox, were you?
1.
The PlayStation 1 games.
They got on there.
They just weren't playable.
But
what do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. I see RA over there shaking her head. She's like, yep, that's it.
I didn't recognize it at first.
Yeah. And then you heard that, and you're like, oh, yeah. That's it. So
it takes me back, man.
Right. So, what, 2005?
Well, I was playing San Andreas 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. So anyway, we are back here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And, what's all this gaming talk that we've been talking about? Well, Chris has a story he's brought in for us. What's up, Chris?
So, yeah, I have a story from Reuters. U.S. judge blocks programs letting Grand Theft Auto players cheat. A federal judge.
No fun.
Well, so this will be interesting, actually, amongst you guys, because, what I've read on the internet is very
I play a lot of online games.
Supportive
and
of.
there is nothing I hate more than cheaters.
Oh yeah, so that's kind of what I thought.
I don't like.
So I'll have to be the counter to your viewpoint on this.
Offline games, they can cheat all they
For real,
want.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like let me do the up down, like left right, and that's the buttons, by the way.
Oh yeah,
and
the Konami code.
Yeah, let me do the thing, and get like all the weapons and just go around blowing up.
But that's
police
not a
helicopters.
cheat, right?
It's called a cheat.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a cheat.
It's a cheat.
Oh, so you like the cheats?
Well, I like the cheats too.
I like the cheats if I'm playing
And
by
single
myself.
player. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't want to go on Happy Wars.
Fair enough. That sounds like what the consensus seems to be amongst people who game.
Except
from what
the
I was reading.
cheaters, except for the people who use delay boxes and things like that to one-shot people in the head from.
I didn't see
half a
any
mile
comments
away.
in regards to people who were.
Oh, because they're not going to admit it.
Yeah, cheaters as far as like comments and
people
things.
cheating in online games, you might as well just say, "Oh, by the way, I cheat in online."
The social
games.
the social stigma is strong. I hear. So yeah, a federal judge on Thursday awarded Take-Two Interactive Software Incorporated, the maker of Grand Theft Auto series, a preliminary injunction to stop a Georgian man from selling programs they said helps players cheat at the best-selling video games. So now it'd be funny if he just went and released the software and the source code and everything, so like they couldn't stop it for free as opposed to
put it on library.
Selling it.
Yeah,
he could sell it on library.
Because if the judge really said you just can't sell it, that doesn't mean you can't give it away, which means that he could totally undermine the tack on him. Basically, Take-Two has accused David Zipper of selling a computer program called Menyo, and I actually kind of like what he did because he did sort of do something that was kind of humorous and Absolute that let users of the Grand Theft Auto V multiplayer feature Grand Theft Auto Online cheat by altering the game for their own benefit or griefing other players by altering their gameplay without permission.
See, that's
how could this possibly be illegal?
I don't even understand that. Yeah, well, yeah, I agree with you. So they're trying to base it off of the concept of copyright infringement, but really,
not only that,
it's not the author of these
it's
cheats
modifying
that are
the program
pirating.
while it's running.
Right, it's the user of the game, which has a license to the game in most cases,
But,
probably.
I mean, it mentioned that he's modifying other people's. Well, these games require servers. And you have to modify the information as it's being sent and received from the server, which is going to affect what is actually on the server.
Yeah, I mean, it probably depends on how the cheat's working. If it's modifying the data being transmitted as opposed to modifying the game itself, it may not even be. There may not even be a real copyright infringement. And the problem is that they don't give you enough details in any of these stories to really know what's going on.
Well, there's ways around that though. As somebody who's a fan of gaming. There are online games that have written protocols into their game that if you alter, you use cheats or bumps or whatever it is that you're using, the game will turn on you.
Yeah, so that's probably the proper
All
way.
NPCs will target you immediately, and you become one-shot kill.
There was a game released not too long ago,
and that's probably the proper way to solve this problem. It's not
glow
laws,
bright orange.
It's not laws. It's
So
not
that
going after people for copyright
everyone can
infringement.
see
It's a
them.
technical solution.
EA released a game a few years ago that had one of those anti-cheating mechanisms in it. And whenever you went to go talk to this NPC or whatever, he wouldn't give you the next quest. I don't remember the details or even what type of game it was. So their forum was flooded with people who had downloaded the game illegally or who were cheating or whatever it was, going to the forums and saying, hey, the game just kind of stops right here and no longer works anymore. And EA was like, well, why don't you buy the game? Instead of stealing it.
Yeah,
or why don't you stop cheating or whatever it was?
Well, there's a bunch of games now that have written it into their programming that if you
well, every game sold through Steam, utilizes Valve's anti-cheat measures.
See, this is exactly the thing. They should write it into the game, not try and use the law to go after people who are
It's
cheating.
Grand Theft Auto. You instantly get 5 law badges as though you're playing on ultra hard, and you just spend the rest of the time that you're logged in, and some of them there'll be a timer,
and some of them you'll be blacklisted.
Yeah, you every time you log in from there on out from your thing, you instantly go to this and you're glowing orange so everybody on the thing can see you and shoot at you, and you can't hide. You can't get away. There's no way to make the stars go away.
But then it's just a matter of time before the people making these cheat utilities figure out a way to cheat that system and make it so that doesn't happen.
I think what ultimately is going on here is that they're basically making a defective product and then complaining when people take advantage of it.
Well, the cultural stigma.
You want to cheat that bad that you'd write another software program?
Well, clearly. But I mean, the cultural
evidently
stigma,
cheaters are lazy because they're buying the one that's one to start with.
I don't know. I think they should just fix the code basically. U.S. District Judge Lewis.
Yeah, but you know that you know better than most that that's not possible, and that if someone wants to find an exploit, they will.
I think the issue is not so much that I don't even think it's an issue of exploit. I think it's more of an issue of the code was never written in a way.
That's an exploit.
It was never written.
They would have to find some loophole within the game that would allow them to give themselves, infinite health.
I don't know. Well, I mean, if they're not sanitizing the data that's coming from the other players, that seems like a more of a. I mean, I don't know if you call that I guess that would be an exploit. But I don't know. It seems like such a. It's basically poor programming, poor coding. It seems to be the blame of poor game design. Whereas if you write a web page right on a server somewhere and you do JavaScript checking and the JavaScript gets modified by the end user, you still do the checking on the server end so that you don't end up with a user being able to check out and pay $5 for something that should be $500, right? It's just. If the code isn't written well.
Yeah, but you know that some determined person could find a way to make it do that.
And that's a bug, and you fix the bug, and the problem goes away. I don't...
Temporarily. I mean, the entire core issue here is that software is not invulnerable and never can be.
I'm not saying it can be invulnerable, but it would probably solve the problem if the code was written properly.
What's cheaper, fighting it in
You're
court?
Assuming it's not. Maybe they did all of those measures to keep the data.
It certainly doesn't sound like it. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't sound like it.
I mean, you're just assuming that.
What's
and
cheaper?
This is an enormous company.
Well, if it's just a bug here or there, if it's just a bug here or there, they can release a security update for it, and the problem should go away. But that's not what's going on. They're clearly unable to do that because they do have security updates that get released, and they're clearly not able to fix the bugs because it's a fundamental design issue.
It's probably cheaper to sue the guy than it is to patch the game.
It probably is, but that's not.
That's what I was saying. Like,
I would blame
costs less money because that's what they're going to do because it's a business.
And I would blame the authors, not the cheaters, nor the person who wrote the cheat.
Oh, I would blame the cheaters entirely.
Look. Cheating. I mean, so you want to go after them legally? You wouldn't support that, though, right?
I didn't say anything about going after them legally.
So we can all dislike the cheaters, right? Like we can say that's not right.
That's
whatever,
how we stop cheating. We identify the cheaters and we publicly shame them. That's how it's always worked. It's worked well.
Yeah, I mean, that's one way to do it. Certainly, I think there's other solutions to this problem.
We could get the company to patch it so that whatever mechanisms they're using to cheat no longer work.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's certainly something you can do. I think fundamentally you probably have to, new games need to be designed better, at least. I understand you can't necessarily easily fix an old game, but certainly the new games.
I think you're making a lot of assumptions with that, man. I'm not aware of very many games.
Well, I have to because we don't have enough information to determine what the actual underlying problem is.
As a gaming reviewer, I do have that information, and I can tell you that they spend billions of dollars making, not billions.
Yeah, but
they spend hundreds of millions of dollars sometimes making. And Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, I understand that they
hundreds of millions of dollars,
but they're
developing and coding that game.
That doesn't necessarily mean that they're writing in the code to do the sanitization that they should be doing. That in any other software development environment, would be happening or should be happening.
Well, I know that many games do, and I would assume that, Take-Two Interactive absolutely does. And until I, am given a reason to dispute that, I would assume that they
it sounds like that's not going on here, but that's my interpretation of the article.
Well, it's technically legitimate.
When you're coping with bad news and the news media come calling, and they will, don't clam up. As notorious political figures find out the hard way, the cover-up can be worse than the crime. So get out in front of unfavorable news about your company, your group or organization, or yourself. The sooner you confront a negative story, the sooner it will be over. Responding as quickly to negative stories as you do to positive ones enhances your credibility credibility. Hiding embarrassing information or lying will do more damage than damage control. Never stonewall. Tell your side of the story, use specifics, and detail what corrective action has already been taken. Respond in kind. If the issue is emotional, don't sound like a cold, unemotional Mr. Spock. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.73 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,190 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,439. Antiwar.com reports, speaking on the 65th anniversary of the 1953 CIA coup against Iran, the Iranian foreign minister accused the newly established Iran Action Group of being an attempt by the U.S. government to repeat the coup, but that it will fail. The State Department announced the establishment of the Iran Action Group last week, with Brian Hook appointed to lead it as a special representative for Iran. Exactly what the group will be doing is not entirely clear. The State Department did try to present Hook's responsibility as coordinating all anti-Iran activities within the department, however, which suggests that it's reasonable for Iran to conclude the goal is regime change, despite some Trump administration officials denying that they are seeking regime change. Iran's foreign minister says U.S. attempts at regime change will come through pressure, misinformation, and demagoguery. The U.S. has been fairly open about spreading misinformation about Iran and trying to organize protest against the government, and in recent weeks has presented those protests as proof the Iranian government needs to make radical changes. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With both secure nodes and supernodes, Zencash recently surpassed 17,000 nodes, which means Zencash has one of the largest node systems of any cryptocurrency. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com. UPI reports a Michigan judge on Monday ordered the state's health director to stand trial on involuntary manslaughter charges over 2 deaths linked to a water crisis in Flint. Nick Lyon, the highest-ranking state official to face charges related to the city's tainted water supply, which was not properly treated when officials decided to draw from the Flint River in April 2014, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Flint, killing Robert Skidmore and John Snyder. Lyon was charged in June 2017 for the 2 deaths, as well as a felony count of misconduct in office. The charging document said Lyon showed gross negligence when he did not alert the public about the Legionnaire's outbreak until a year after he became aware of it. The document says he took steps to suppress information illustrating obvious and apparent harms that were likely to result in serious injury. Defendant Lyon willfully disregarded the deadly nature of the Legionnaire's disease outbreak. Prosecutors say Lyon instructed an official to stop an analysis that would have helped determine the crisis's cause. On Monday, when ordering the trial, 67th District Court Judge David Goggins said, "I find this behavior corrupt." Lyon could face 15 years in prison if convicted of involuntary manslaughter. The misconduct charge carries a possible 5-year sentence. Governor Rick Snyder named Lyon to the position on April 10, 2015, when he created a new agency that merged the Department of Health and Human Services and the Michigan Department of Community Health. Lyon had led the latter department. He is one of 15 current and former city and state officials facing charges for criminal wrongdoing in the Flint water scandal. You can support FPP Radio by joining the Fans program. Fans are friends, allies, and numerous supporters. You can join the Fans program for as little as $1 per month through Patreon and get perks like ad-free versions of FPP Radio News and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio. To learn more or to join the Fans program, visit fans.fppradio.com. Reuters reports Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said that it is within his agency's power to eliminate rebates on prescription drug purchases, a key element of the Trump administration's plan to lower prescription medicine costs. Such rebates are negotiated in the United States by pharmacy benefit managers to lower cost of medicines for their clients, which include large employers and health plans that cover tens of millions of Americans. Drug makers say they are under pressure to provide rebates to the few pharmacy benefit managers that dominate the market, which include CVS, Express Scripts, and United Health's Optum, and that those payers do not pass on enough of the savings to patients, a contention the pharmacy benefit managers dispute. The drug makers say the rebates force them to raise the price on their therapies over time to preserve their business. The Trump administration has been receptive to that argument. Azar, in an interview with Reuters on Friday, said rebates create a perverse incentive to continuously raise drug prices. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A man thanks God he's not sexually attracted to children, and Popeye's home is burglarized. Week in and week out, you come back like a housebroken Pomeranian, loyal to the bitter end. Good boy. This is the Onion Week in Review. Georgia's Cobb County Evangelical Hospital held its 5th annual Walk to Cure Gayness today, reportedly drawing thousands of participants to raise funds that would cure sufferers of their homosexuality and make gayness a thing of the past. Hospital administrators told reporters that funding from the walk would go into providing new state-of-the-art gayness treatment equipment, along with remodeling the hospital's physical therapy center, which has spent nearly 14 years reteaching gay men how to walk properly.
Oh God, I was a goner. But as you can see, I'm now happily married to a woman, and as of next month, I will have been in full remission for 2 whole years. I'm just so very, very happy. Everything's really good in my life.
This is the Onion News Network.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
That's right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom. It is our 3rd hour on your Tuesday afternoon drive home. Well, it's another day here in the Shire. Looks like it's probably gonna rain again.
Yeah. It went from beautiful to
yes.
We got an overcast here.
Well, I've been waiting for 2 full days with no rain.
Oh, that's right.
So that I can mow. And I thought I had, but it's Eid. So, like, I've got family stuff I have to do tonight. I can't just go home and mow.
Yeah.
Well, not to mention the fact that I feel like somebody rolled me in a carpet and beat me half to death. So, I'm so tired. You have no idea. I haven't slept in days. Mostly because, of the new job and getting up early, and then other things in life end up keeping me up later than I want to be, especially when you've got 5 kids. There's always one who decides that they can't sleep or won't sleep.
I hate sleep anyway. I do. I love the feeling of being asleep, but I hate losing so much of my life to uselessness. And that's essentially what it is.
It's not uselessness, though. Your
It
body
feels to me like uselessness.
Your body's processing toxins. Your body, like without, what's the longest you've ever gone without sleep?
Oh, quite a while.
Seriously. I mean, no naps. Straight staying awake nonstop.
Well, I used to do a lot more MDMA than I do recently.
Right.
So I was up for like 6 days straight.
Yeah, that's me. 5, but yeah, 6 days.
I have to say, without the drugs, I've really put a number on my body for quite a few years and major issues as a result. So you need sleep, guys. Do take some time to sleep.
Well, I average about 6 hours a night. If I go to sleep before 2 a.m., I feel like I've wasted the day. And if I wake up after 7:30 or so, I feel like I've already lost time.
Yeah, the worst thing to do is, get a couple hours of sleep and then interrupt your sleep, go out and like do a job, do work, and then, keep doing this day after day. And if you do this for, week after week, month after month, year after year, for a few years, oh man, it will really wreak havoc on your
It started for me because I was here, I was doing the floors at TJ Maxx. I'm up like 6 a.m. to get the floors done at TJ Maxx. And then Saturday I had to get up early and drive to New Haven. And then when I got back from New Haven that night, instead of going to bed like I should have, I had to fill in for a friend and went and cleaned AT&T. So that had me out well past 1 a.m. And then I had to be back up at the butt crack of dawn the next day to make way for cleaning TJ Maxx again.
Yikes.
And that's doing the floors in a pretty large place. That equipment's not light, and I'm just not used to it. I've been.
Is this something you're doing now or something you did in the past?
No, it's something I'm doing now.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't realize you had work that you did.
Yeah. I don't just do
outside
the
of
the mosque.
Yeah, the mosque
and the radio show.
The radio show.
No, I need the new income.
We're on Patreon now, by the way.
Yeah.
At patreon.com/call to freedom.
Well, how come that hasn't been advertised here?
Because we just
set it up
like
yesterday.
Okay.
So now the story we're going to be covering first, at the very least, is it's a story that's been going around because it's already gone around once. I think the Supreme Court basically ruled, and then now...
Oh, they did?
Well, they ruled on gay marriage. Now they're going to rule on transgendered. No, actually what happened is...
It was a suit that started, right? Yeah. I don't think they've actually got it to the Supreme
Court. And they didn't rule
yet.
on the gay marriage thing.
They didn't rule on it. They punted it. And instead made it about whether or not the state had discriminated against the baker.
Well, according to Tom, what our courts can and can't do is actually pretty limited. Like, they can only address the case brought to them. And the case was brought to them by the Christian baker saying that, the Oklahoma Anti-Discrimination Board had discriminated against him. And they upheld his argument. They agreed with him. So what they were presented with had nothing to do with whether or not he could discriminate against gay people or trans people.
Yeah, so now the New York Times reports Colorado baker sues government over cake dispute with transgender woman. So this is a different case that he's bringing up. The baker who won a United States Supreme Court case this year after refusing to make a cake for a same-sex wedding has sued the governor of Colorado. I don't understand that one, though. Alleging the state discriminated against him when he declined to make a blue and pink cake for a transgender woman. The lawsuit sets up yet another public battle involving Jack Phillips of Masterpiece Cake Shop over whether claims of religious freedoms can be used to refuse service to gay and transgender people. The Supreme Court did not definitively decide on that question in its ruling earlier this year, ensuring additional legal fights. And it's kind of humorous because now we have the same baker filing another suit, I guess. Yeah. This time the suit involves a customer, Autumn Scardinia, who asked Mr. Phillips to make a cake with a blue exterior and pink interior that would mark her birthday and the 7th anniversary of her gender transition. Mr. Phillips refused because the celebration ran contrary to his belief that gender is given by God, his lawyer said, and not determined by perceptions or feelings. The suit filed in federal
I don't even
district.
know where to start.
Right.
Yeah, right. Court in Denver this week alleges that Colorado officials are on a crusade against Mr. Phillips because he refuses to make cakes that violate his religious beliefs.
No, the officials are not on a crusade. This trans chick is on the crusade.
Well, yeah,
I'm not sure how it's the officials. Like, where does
she
the officials
did this on purpose
come in? Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine how many cakes do they actually have to make like this.
Well, she drove 2
especially
hours.
in this area,
No,
right?
she drove 2 hours to
really?
that particular bakery. She 100% did this on purpose.
So this is further than I must have read in this article, or maybe a different article you read. In recent years, his lawyers say he has been targeted by potential customers eager to test the limits of the law. On the same day in June 2017, the Supreme Court agreed to hear the first case. The lawsuit says Ms. Scardinia, a lawyer, called Masterpiece Cake Shop and requested the gender transition cake. Then days after the Supreme Court ruling, the state's Civil Rights Division issued a decision finding probable cause that the state requires Mr. Phillips to make the new cake. Interesting. Mr. Phillips alleges that the state's decision violates his First Amendment rights to freely exercise his religious beliefs. I don't understand why people would even want somebody to make them that cake that like has a disagreement with them like this.
Oh, I love that. Look at this. I got the article here from NPR on the same issue. It says that Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper is named as a defendant in the new lawsuit.
Yeah, why is that?
He said that he expects the issue to return to the Supreme Court.
Why do they? I don't understand why they named the governor in this case. Like,
there is a group, a government group that fines people for not baking the cake, and he has sued them over a gay wedding cake. And is he in charge of that group or something?
No,
he's the governor. He's the head of the state government.
But I'm assuming there's a law on the books.
This is a regulatory body that is underneath of him. So he's named because he's the boss.
Okay, but the law says that this is his job, right? So why would it have to do? What would I mean? All right.
It's their way of challenging the law.
It seems kind of weird that you would name the official who is if they're obeying the law and they're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Well, why they would be the state of Colorado
liable? I mean,
he's not saying they're doing anything illegal. They're probably following the letter of the law. What he's saying is
discriminatory,
immoral, and discriminatory.
I guess it just kind of confuses things to me because I would think you'd be suing the government, so to speak,
well, that's what he's doing.
or the state. But why you would then name the governor or an elected official
could be
kind of weird.
That he's made.
I would rather
on the
see
case.
officials indicted than some esoteric concept like the state of Oklahoma. No, the governor is a real person. And
yeah, but it's not just the governor who's doing this. It's
but he's responsible for it. Some individual is responsible for it, and he's at the head of that.
An individual, it's
so
an entity.
Take him to court.
It's
not an entity. Entities are not real. They cannot do things.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Catch The Call to Freedom at its new time, weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. The Call to Freedom is the only live drive-home call-in show in the U.S. with a segment devoted to cryptocurrencies. Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, live from Vertcoin Studios in New Hampshire. Learn about what makes cryptocurrencies so great and why you should care about them. Updates on new coins and ICOs, and warnings of scams. Plus, hear from traders, whales, developers, and big names in the crypto world. You can also win crypto coins or tokens every episode. Just listen for the faucet sound and be the fifth caller to get free Dash, Litecoin, Vertcoin, Verge, or other cryptocurrencies. The Call to Freedom with Will and Aria, featuring Crypto Hour. Broadcast internationally through our BitPlus network satellite. Weekdays from 4 to 7 p.m. on LRN FM.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.fm.
That's right. Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Broadcasting live from our Zencash studios here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, we've been talking about this guy in Colorado. Back in 2012, let's give a little history, okay? Back in 2012, a gay couple came to him and said, hey, gay marriage is legal now. We want you to bake a cake celebrating our wedding. The owner of the business said, look, it's against my religion for you to do that, so I don't want to be involved in your celebration of it. So I would decline to make your cake for you. Which businesses can't decline. Isn't there like a sign up at all businesses that's like we reserve the right to refuse service for any reason?
There is in some states.
A lot of times there are a lot of clauses like that you sign are going to have some statement to that effect.
Yeah,
like on the back of receipts, things like that. Yeah,
we have a right to refuse. Yeah, everyone should have a right to refuse service. I mean, when Don't Say Gay Stacey Campfield was refused service at a sandwich shop in Market Square in Knoxville after his retarded statements about homosexuals on the Daily Show. His bill was like, if you acknowledge that gay people exist in schools, then the kids will all be gay. And I was like,
okay.
I had a gay teacher in 3rd grade and we all knew he was gay. And guess what? None of the kids that I know that went to school with me in that little town were gay. There is a gay kid that graduated from my class. He moved here in 6th grade, long after the gay teacher had come in. He was 3rd grade, Mr. Williams. Hi, Mr. Williams. He's probably old and gone by now, but he was gay, and he walked with his hand up and the very. It was funny.
He was flaming.
Especially to 3rd graders.
He was amusing. Yeah. But this was the 80s.
Oh,
it's like 1989. So, anyway, where was I going? Anyway, so these guys, they come to him and they're like, "We want you to bake the cake," and he's like, "Nah." And they were like, "Oh, well, then we'll report you to the CCRC."
They were like, "Well, we're whiny little bitches, so we're going to unleash the federal government, our Kraken, against you to force you to do what we want you to do because you're not a human being any longer. You exist to serve us. Now get on your knees and serve us, or we will have you thrown in prison for the rest of your life." That's what they said.
It was the state government, actually, the CCRC, the Colorado Center for...
Yeah, but the 2 gay dudes notified them of it. They had to have.
I mean, did the state...
the
CCRC. They reported him to the CCRC. The CCRC basically was like, if you bake wedding cakes, you have to bake a gay one. And he was like, then I don't bake wedding cakes at all anymore. And according to him, lost 40% of his business, which is understandable for a baker.
That's a huge number.
Yeah. Lose 40% of your profit in a year. And while that was going on, and while the CCRC was continuing to pursue him, some people from the CCRC made some unfortunate public statements that made it very clear that they had personal axes to grind with Christianity, and he was their way of working that out. So now...
I would like to remind these people that they could not possibly have an axe to grind against Christianity in the way that I do.
Right.
But I would never, ever be so immoral as to force another human being to do something I wanted to do that they did not want to do.
Well, yeah. First of all, I'd be afraid you get a little bit of yak in it, you know?
Yeah, right.
I mean, come on.
There would be... If somebody was forcing me to bake them a cake and I didn't want to, and, you know, it was that serious, there'd be all kinds of crap in that cake.
Right?
Here's your cake.
He filed a federal lawsuit.
I hope you enjoy it.
In order to basically, fight back against that.
So he got a bigger gun.
Yeah. He filed a federal lawsuit and was like, look, the state of Colorado is aggressing against my rights. And the Supreme Court was like, well, we don't know. Maybe. And then the idiots at the CCRC said some bigoted stuff about Christians, and they were like, oh, there was the evidence that we needed to rule on your behalf. Thank you, government of Colorado. Good job. And now, basically, the day that case was accepted to the Supreme Court, this attorney from Denver called and says, hey, I want you to bake me a cake.
No, that's not what they said. Okay.
Says, I want you to make me a cake. They asked what I wanted on the cake. What do I want it to look like? And I explained that I was celebrating my birthday on July the 6th, 2017, and that it would also be the 7th year of my transition from female to male. When I explained that I'm a transsexual...
They didn't ask her why she wanted the cake. They said, what kind of cake do you want?
How do you want it decorated?
And she goes, well, I'm trans, and this is my birthday, and...
It's also the day that I got my willy cut off.
The 7th year anniversary of my transition. But what kind of cake do you want?
No, that's what she said. She says...
I'm sponge cake.
I'm a transsexual, and I want my birthday cake to celebrate my transition from female to male by having a blue exterior and a pink interior.
None of which did they need to know. I want a sponge cake that is pink on the inside and blue on the outside. Done. End of conversation.
They will not make the cake. They said they won't make the cake because of their religious beliefs. But the woman on the phone didn't object to my request for a birthday cake until I told her that it was to celebrate my transition. I believe other people who request birthday cakes get to select the color and theme of their cakes.
Yeah, but they don't. Okay. Oh my God. Okay, there is this huge, there's that joke. How do you know a vegan? How do you know someone is a vegan? Because they'll tell you, it's the first thing they'll say. How do you know they're an atheist? They'll tell you, it's the first thing they'll say. How do you know someone is trans? because they'll tell you the first thing they say.
Right.
It never needed to be brought up.
Chris.
If she actually wanted a cake, she wouldn't have brought it up.
The answer to your question, the CCR issued a probable cause determination that Phillips had discriminated against Scardina in violation of state laws.
For the transgender one?
Yes. The Colorado Anti-Discrimination Act bans places of public accommodation from discriminating against customers based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. In 2012, Phillips declined to bake the wedding cake, blah, 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 blah. We already know that.
So Oklahoma or Colorado, whichever one it is we're dealing with, they passed a law specifically forbidding businesses from being able to exercise their rights of association, their right to refuse service to particular customers?
Based on gender identity.
Well, based on whatever reason, it's irrelevant.
See, it went from gender to gender and gender identity. So now those are two totally separate things.
Oh, for sure.
On the list of like, you can't refuse service to these people, even if it's against your morals. That's the big issue that a lot of people like me have with the Muslims and the gay marriage activist community is because they're not asking for Muslims to just be like, oh, gay people get married, we don't care. They're saying we should force the mosques to do these ceremonies, and that's completely different.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
The 3 most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
You're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. It is the last half of the third hour of your drive home show for this Tuesday afternoon. And, well, we decided, Chris just really doesn't like the new format.
Yeah, I don't think he does.
No. So we decided that we're going to try to switch things up a little bit, let a little more tech discussion on the days that Chris is on. But since we weren't completely prepared for that, we covered some stuff that would be a little more up Chris's alley, So
we've instead been preparing for our guest coming on Thursday night.
That is correct. That is correct. Tell us a little more about that, Arya.
Well, he's coming on at the 6 o'clock hour. He is a professor of philosophy at the University of Johannesburg in South Africa.
Yeah.
He has a book coming out called The Philosophy of Finitude that is about Latinus, Nietzsche, and one other philosopher whose name I keep forgetting. And it's apparently going to be a college textbook because it's pretty pricey.
Right on.
About $109, I think.
Oof.
But I'm looking forward to having him on here to talk about it. And
I am too. Very, very
giving
much
us a
so.
sneak preview, so to speak, of the book. It's a shame Tom is going to miss that day.
Is he?
It's a Thursday.
So? It's not Tom's in on Thursdays.
See, I never remember.
Tom's here on Thursdays.
Okay. Cool.
Monday, Thursday, Friday. Usually.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
I don't think the guy is really going to prove to be as large a fan of Nietzsche as I am. But the philosophical implications of Nietzsche and the things he said, he's really underrated as far as philosophers go. I mean, so much of the philosophy that Nietzsche brought us still hasn't reached the mainstream today, or it did so in such a way that nobody really or that few people understand what the genesis of those ideas really was. And because you had like George Bernard Shaw and other majorly influential writers who were directly inspired by Nietzsche and motivated by him to include aspects of his philosophy in their works, so when they look back at these things that have influenced society, they point to Shaw and other prolific writers of the time and go, well, who's Nietzsche? Well, Nietzsche's the guy who Shaw got his ideas from.
Yeah.
Sort of. Not all of his ideas, but...
Well, speaking of a little bit of nihilism, I guess you could say, anybody notice a headline missing from the media lately? Something about little kids and
the bus that we bombed?
No, not the bus that we sold the bombs for.
Okay.
No, this would be the little children that are separated from their parents when they come into the United States. Turns out nearly 600 of them are still separated from their families due to the policies that led us down this road to start with. Some of them going back further than Obama.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I really want. I want to say this. I really want to say this. Can we please stop giving this dude credit for stuff he didn't do?
Who, Obama?
Trump.
Oh.
he gets credit for everything. Like, he gets credit for laws that were passed in the 90s. It's like, oh, Trump is horrible and policies. And it's like, bro, that law was passed in 96. Clinton signed that. Now what?
Well, it's partisanism, you know. Everything that happens while Trump is president, good or bad, is going to be Trump's fault.
Even if the law was passed 20 years before he ever ran for office.
Yeah, because otherwise they might have to say that, you know, a Democrat did it, when the reality, as we know it to be, is that it really doesn't matter which one of these clowns was in office when it happened. It was going to happen anyway, and they're basically indistinguishable. The only difference between Trump and Obama is their hair and the amount of melanin in their skin.
Their body weight. Age.
Okay, so they have some physical differences.
Yeah, physical. It's all physical, exactly. Oh, wait. Obama says really nice things before he tells the Department of War that he's totally cool with him dropping that drone bomb on that Afghan wedding. He says
Trump's
nice
wife
things.
is also hotter.
He says nice things. Trump says mean things.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't like Muslims.
Trump says what Borat said, and people cheer.
Yeah.
Like they did in Borat.
Yeah.
I think Trump probably saw that and said, that's it. That's how I'm going to win the election.
I bet he did. I bet he did. He just looked at him and was like, those people are so easily malleable.
Yep.
You know, I used to say back while Obama was in office, what's the fastest way to get a Republican to support a communist, a plank of the Communist Party as law in the U.S.? Invoke a cultural or a racial stereotype that they have. Prejudice. Because what do we got? We've got labor registrations.
Yeah.
They call it E-Verify. But it's a workers' registry is what it is.
Yeah,
everybody's name gets run through it. Well, what happens when they decide, you know what? We've decided certain American citizens are also going to get the red flag and the little when you run their name too. Then what? Because that's what worker registries do.
Yep.
They take
for sure.
you out of the ability to work if they want. Well, what happens when those worker registries are used to keep Americans from working? Well, I guess it'll be okay as long as they're Americans who politically disagree with you.
I mean, that's the thing. Considering how often people talk about Nazis in today's America, it's stupefying
that
how
we want to
frequently
make a
Nazi
government,
policies get enacted by our government. People are like, well, it's fine.
And always bipartisan.
It totally won't happen this time.
Always bipartisan too.
Yep.
You have to admit that. You know, like what's that? What was the thing? Says
Oh, for sure, because they're racing each other to be who will be the first to actually implement this against the side they don't like.
Yeah.
So they're both supportive of it, and they're both hoping, but we got to get there first.
Yep. We can't do it yet because then they'll say that we passed the law so that we could. You got to wait till after the re-election.
Yep.
The next election.
I mean,
we've got to
like
win
the FEMA
next
Act.
election.
It legalizes concentration camps in the United States, no matter how you put it. The people who were gathered up and put into the FEMA camps following Katrina, they weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah, right.
They were not allowed to take their weapons or most of their possessions.
And they went around door to door disarming people.
Yeah. I mean, that's a concentration camp by any standard. They were just in trailers instead of tent barracks, you know, or wooden barracks.
Well, they didn't throw a gigantic barbed wire fence around it.
That's true. They just had armed men with guns doing it.
Well, yeah, that's an invisible fence.
Yeah. But, I mean, they could put that's why all this hysteria about FEMA camps, and don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those people. I'm not saying this is happening or it's about to happen, although I am saying that Walmarts are being rented out to be used as detention centers.
Which we all thought was crazy conspiracy theory, and now they're housing kids in them.
Yeah.
Gigantic kennels is what they look like.
So, and we do know that, you know, all of these things that the government is giving itself permission to do, it will eventually do. It's just a question of when and who the targets will be.
Yeah.
I mean, would Democrats
with
really
these
be so freaked out by the possibility of Trump's going to round up all the disabled people and kill them if there weren't already laws in the books allowing the federal government to do that if they so chose? Would they be
Send
freaked
me
out?
a little Mexican kid, man. I'll take one. They got 600 kids. They got nothing to do, nowhere to go with them. I mean, if they don't have parents, I'll take one. I gotta.
Good on you.
For real. Why not? Somebody needs to.
I would
Somebody
take a
needs
cat.
to. Ian, you want a little Mexican kid?
That is the funniest question I've ever heard.
I'm serious, yo. Like, these kids need homes. What the hell are they going to do with them? I mean, what's the plan?
They're going to keep them in the dog kennels.
You got 600 kids in dog kennels that you haven't found parents for. What's the plan here? We're just going to keep them in kennels forever. Is this? Are we good? Is it going to be like a Walmart Guantanamo in the middle of Colorado now? And it's filled with little Mexican kids, little El Salvadorian and Guatemalan kids. I'm serious. This is
and I shouldn't be
absolutely
laughing,
disgusting. That the media is like, oh.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.fm. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.fm LRN.FM पे।
Let's focus our discussion first on marijuana, okay? Marijuana has a very distinct smell, okay? I'm going to pass around just a little tiny bit, and I want you all to take a smell so you know when someone is smoking marijuana near you.
That's right. It's time for our Cannabis News segment. Your only home for daily cannabis news updates with a libertarian spin. Here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And, well, we got a couple stories here that I was looking at. We're going to go with, since we've been a little more political than normal, we have been lately, we'll just kind of stick with that kind of bent. And, well, we have a cannabis company here that says it will simply always employ more women than men. Wait, that's discrimination.
It is. That's extremely myopic. It's a very good way to ensure that you have a realistic chance of not hiring people who are best for the job by using standards that are anything other than who is the best person for this job. You're leaving it up to chance whether or not the person you're hiring is actually best at it. You should evaluate potential employees based on that. Can the person do the job? Is this the best candidate who has applied for the job? Not, does she have a vagina? Or does she identify as a woman? Because that's completely irrelevant to whether or not a person can do a job.
Right. Well, it says here that the president of an Ontario cannabis company is making headlines for saying that she has made a firm commitment to always employing more women than men. Jeanette Vandermerel is the co-founder of the Green Organic Dutchman and the president of Good and Green.
I can't believe she called it the Dutchman with that attitude.
She told 630 Ched's Ryan Jesperson that the lack of women in executive roles in the cannabis industry is what gave her the conviction to have this kind of gender balance in her own corporate structure.
But that's not balance.
There's a lot of women working, unfortunately, in the gray and black markets. But once it moves into the corporate world, it just seems that there's a great lack of us. She clarifies that she has nothing against men, but there needs to be a balance.
Hold on, time out, because I think that's probably false. I've never bought pot from a chick. Ever.
I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how many dudes have you bought pot from versus how many chicks?
Way more. Way more. Like...
So I'm not aware of women being
that it wasn't a chick who was going to someone else to get it for me. You know, like
that's middleman stuff. You're not buying it from her. Yeah.
Yeah. Not buying it from middlemaning. Yeah. Middleman
or middlewomaning.
Yeah. That I was buying girls that I was buying it directly from. 2 in my whole life.
See, I've got 0. You know,
2, but they were also 2 of the best. To be truthful.
But I mean, her claim is that, women...
actually, the 2 best.
Women are decently represented in the black market of marijuana.
They're the best in the black market of marijuana, evidently, because I've only had, when you're out there and you're having to deal with the black market before, medical...
You have no idea what you're going to get.
Well, before medical legalization, the biggest problem is finding someone that's dependable, that you call on Tuesday, and then when you call them again on Friday... they answer their phone at all. And that's what I find that women have is that I can think of 500 guys that I've bought, a joint off of in my life, from 15 to, adulthood. And all of them were hard to get a hold of. Sketchy, there one day, not there the next, call him on Tuesday and he can't get it till Friday. But the girls were always like, hey, how are you? I'll be there in a little while. Done. And they were always the most dependable. You could go hang out, like they were not sketchy. Like you go and chill, like come over and watch Jackass or something, whatever was on. This gives you an idea of how long ago this was for me. Come in, sit down, and watch
the
Jackass.
Guys from Jackass completely damaged their bodies permanently.
and before Bam Margera started to look like Phil.
Yeah. I mean, aren't they all on like meth now or something? I think Steve-O's doing really bad.
I thought Steve-O was off drugs now. He had cleaned himself up finally.
Go him. I don't pay attention to him.
It's like a documentary out now about how bad he was and like bringing himself out of the addiction and all that. I think that women in general, when I see a group of women versus a group of men working together, I guess one of the things that I see is men sometimes
What
are
women working
concerned-
together? In what universe has that ever happened?
And men are concerned about their roles or their obligations, whereas women just get the job done. Doesn't matter. Wait, what? It doesn't matter whose job it is, whether it's beneath your role. What?
So clearly, she did not work her way up to a CEO position, or she would know that women in an office together. No.
Evidently, she's never waited tables or worked at a bar.
Yeah. Any place of employment with more than 2 or 3 women, it's not
my
they're
job.
always going to be. Well, and it's not just.
Oh,
that.
my favorites are
the
my
friction
favorites
between them is going to make it unbearable at times.
Y'all better leave me alone. I didn't come here to work today. That's my favorite. The girl that walks in and she's like, I'm on my period. My boyfriend gave me gonorrhea. I'm mad. I got the thing. I'm on my brother died. My mama's mad. I ain't come here to work. Don't you seat me with no tables. What?
Then why did you?
I'm not sweeping that mess up. I didn't drop that glass. If she believes this, she has never worked in the service industry, which is 90% female.
Yeah. I think probably the only places of employment that have large groups of women working together that don't have friction and constant enmity between various groups of women.
Oh my God.
Are probably strip clubs. I'm serious.
Oh my God. I've been to a strip club once in my whole life. I was 18 years old. My first wife, her uncle got his income tax check and wanted to go to this place called the Space Odyssey 2000. And it was like a bring your own, like a brown bag establishment, because you can't show any nudity in Tennessee if you serve alcohol and all that kind of stuff. And there was this really pushy stripper that kept telling me, like, do you want to get a lap dance? No, I don't want to get a lap dance. You want to get a lap dance? Not really here because I'm interested in being here. My sister stripped for years, so I grew up around strippers, like the Bachelorette type. Like I would go to the house that all 20 of them would go to pay the madam, I guess is what you would call her, the lady who ran the stripping service. And I knew all of them, and just strippers just never have or will do anything for me. And she got really mad, and she was like, well, I want to make the bartender throw you out because you won't get a lap dance. And I'm like, I paid the $12 I have to get in here to watch you shake your syphilis-infested vagina around on the stage. I'm not paying you to wipe it on my pant leg. And she got...
To be fair,
5
though,
minutes later,
I've dated strippers, and the vast majority of them are not like that. They won't sell sex and things like that.
I see 5 minutes later, I see her and another stripper have each other by the hair, and they're fist fighting over an Oxycontin in the middle of the bar.
See, that's totally different. Once drugs enter the picture, especially opiates, any human beings can turn into monsters like that.
Over a pill in the middle of the bar, and I'm just like, see, I told you didn't want a lap dance from her.
Right. Imagine what else she would do for one of those Oxycontin.
Right. Says Vandermeer said that her lead grower and quality assurance manager are both women. And she said that she certainly has a preference for hiring women, but would also like to hire more ethnic and culturally diverse members for her team. So I could get a job there. Well, no, because I'm white.
I could.
You could. My wife could get a job.
Oh. Yeah.
Cultural diversity and a woman.
Yeah.
Bing, bing. I bet she could make $5 an hour more than everybody else.
I'm sure.
Just by waving her
one of the companies for
around.
whom I was an IT contractor before I came up here to New Hampshire was owned by these two guys, and all they hired were females, and they were all hot females. I loved going there.
Oh, get this. She defended her hiring practice and said that they aren't gender discriminatory. She always hires the best candidates, and the best candidates are always women. It's as simple as that. I think I'm very fortunate. There's been a lot of women that have been bypassed in the corporate world or in their place of employment for men. There's some incredibly qualified women who are looking to advance their careers in leadership and management and have never been given the opportunity.
There's also plenty of men for whom that description fits.
That's true as well. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow.
It's almost as if gender doesn't really factor into whether or not someone is qualified for a job and has had the opportunity to do such a job.
No, couldn't possibly be. I thought that's what equality was about. I guess not. We'll be back tomorrow with a little bit different than what things were today, definitely. But we will definitely be back tomorrow. More crypto news, more discussions, more philosophical discussions, sociological discussion, all kinds of stuff. Don't go anywhere right now, though, because Free Talk Live is coming up next.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by Freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Tuesday, August 21st, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.73 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,190 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $20, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,439. Antiwar.com reports, speaking on the 65th anniversary of the 1953 CIA coup against Iran, the Iranian foreign minister accused the newly established Iran Action Group of being an attempt by the U.S. government to repeat the coup, but that it will fail. The State Department announced the establishment of the Iran Action Group last week, with Brian Hook appointed to lead it as a special representative for Iran. Exactly what the group will be doing is not entirely clear. The State Department did try to present Hook's responsibility as coordinating all anti-Iran activities within the department, however, which suggests that it's reasonable for Iran to conclude the goal is regime change, despite some Trump administration officials denying that they are seeking regime change. Iran's foreign minister says U.S. attempts at regime change will come through pressure, misinformation, and demagoguery. The U.S. has been fairly open about spreading misinformation about Iran and trying to organize protest against the government, and in recent weeks has presented those protests as proof the Iranian government needs to make radical changes. Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With both secure nodes and supernodes, Zencash recently surpassed 17,000 nodes, which means Zencash has one of the largest node systems of any cryptocurrency. Supernodes will advance the decentralization of the Zencash network and ensure the utility not only of Zencash as a currency, but also the future services that will be layered in the infrastructure. Learn more at zencash.com. UPI reports a Michigan judge on Monday ordered the state's health director to stand trial on involuntary manslaughter charges over 2 deaths linked to a water crisis in Flint. Nick Lyon, the highest-ranking state official to face charges related to the city's tainted water supply, which was not properly treated when officials decided to draw from the Flint River in April 2014, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to an outbreak of Legionnaire's disease in Flint, killing Robert Skidmore and John Snyder. Lyon was charged in June 2017 for the 2 deaths, as well as a felony count of misconduct in office. The charging document said Lyon showed gross negligence